Broncos country, pinch yourselves, because this is not a dream. For the first time since the days of Peyton Manning, since before some of your children were even born, the Denver Broncos have walked into Arrowhead Stadium and swept the Kansas City Chiefs. We have exorcised the demons. We have ended the curse. And we have solidified our place as the new kings of the AFC West with a 13-3 record. But do not let the final score fool you. This wasn't just a win, this was a statement that we can beat the Chiefs, we can beat the refs, and we can beat the entire NFL narrative. Before we break down exactly why Sean Payton is going to absolutely lose his mind over the officiating tape, and why the national media is lying to you about this game, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe if you are proud to finally be the bully in the AFC West. Let's just take a moment to breathe this in. Seriously, let it soak into your soul. The Denver Broncos are 13-3. We are currently sitting in first place in the entire NFL. We are in first place in the AFC. And we just went into Kansas City, a place where dreams usually go to die, a place where we haven't won since 2015, and we handled business on a short week. I have a daughter in middle school who was not even alive the last time we swept the Kansas City Chiefs. That is how long we have waited for this moment. We lived through the 16-game losing streak. We lived through the carousel of quarterbacks. We lived through the almost games. But that era is officially dead and buried. Now, here is the problem you are going to face this week. The national media, the talking heads, and the Chiefs apologists are going to look at the box score and say, "Oh, you only won by 7 points. You only put up 20 points against their backups. It wasn't impressive." Do not let them gaslight you. When you peel back the layers of this game, this was an absolute shellacking. It was a domination in almost every phase of football that matters. Let's look at the real numbers. The Broncos ran 71 plays to the Chiefs' measly 42. We physically wore them down. The Broncos put up 303 yards of offense. The Chiefs? A pathetic 139 yards. We held an NFL team to under 150 yards of total offense in their own building. We controlled the clock for over 38 minutes. They barely had the ball for 20. We had 4 separate drives that lasted over 8 minutes. Think about how insane that is. In the modern NFL, an 8-minute drive is rare. We did it 4 times in one game. We strangled the life out of them. We took their soul. This game easily could have been, and arguably should have been, a 38-14 blowout. The only reason it wasn't? We were fighting 2 opponents, the Chiefs, and the guys in the striped shirts. We need to have a serious, uncomfortable conversation about the officiating in this game. And listen, I hate being that guy. I hate blaming the refs. Usually, good teams overcome bad calls. And guess what? We are a good team, so we overcame them. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. This was, without a doubt, one of the most one-sided, poorly officiated games I have ever witnessed in my life. And I am not just saying that as a biased Broncos fan. When you have Kirk Herbstreit on the broadcast, a guy who usually tries to stay neutral, openly questioning calls. When you have the network's own rules analyst coming on air and saying, "Yeah, I don't see anything there, you know it's bad." Let's look at the cold, hard facts. The Kansas City Chiefs were not called for a single penalty until the 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter. Let me repeat that. 0 penalties for 58 minutes of football. In a physical, division rivalry game? In the trenches? That is statistically impossible. Do you know the only other time recently a team went that deep into a game without a flag? Surprise, surprise, it was the Chiefs against the Lions earlier this year. It feels like the league is desperate to keep the Chiefs relevant. It feels like they are terrified of a playoffs without the Mahomes and Kelsey storyline, so they are doing everything in their power to keep games close. We saw a defensive pass interference call on Patrick Surtain II that was truly laughable. The ball landed a full 15 yards away from Xavier Worthy. 15 yards. It was uncatchable by Superman, let alone a receiver. Yet, the flag comes out. That one penalty gave the Chiefs more yardage than they had earned on offense for nearly the entire first half. It was clownish. It was embarrassing for the league. But here is the best part, it didn't matter. We were too good to be cheated. We outplayed the Chiefs so immensely that even the referees couldn't manufacture a win for them. That is the mark of a championship team. However, if we want to hoist the Lombardi Trophy in February, we have to look in the mirror too. Sean Payton is going to be absolutely furious when he watches the All-22 tape. Why? The drops. I want to be clear, I love Courtland Sutton. He is an absolute dog. He just became the first Bronco since Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders to record back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He is the heart and soul of this receiver room. But he had some crucial, drive-killing drops in this game. We saw Bo Nix throw an absolute dart to the back of the end zone on third down. It was a perfect ball. It hit Sutton right in the hands, a catch we have seen him make with his eyes closed 100 times. And it popped out. Instead of a touchdown, we settled for a field goal. Later in the game, another third down drop forced a punt. Those are the mistakes that let inferior teams hang around. In the playoffs, against a team like the Bills or the Ravens, those drops could send us home. We have statistically dropped out of the top 5 sure-handed teams, and are now sitting right behind the Jacksonville Jaguars in drop rate. That is unacceptable for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. I expect Sean Payton to ride the receivers hard this week. We need Courtland Sutton to be the elite, reliable weapon we know he is. No more excuses. Now, let's talk about the man of the hour. The man who has completely changed the trajectory of this franchise. Bo Nix. Despite the drops, despite the penalties, despite the noise, Bo Nix continues to prove he is the franchise quarterback we have been praying for since John Elway walked off into the sunset. In this game, he joined elite company. He is now one of only 3 quarterbacks in NFL history, alongside Peyton Manning and Justin Herbert, to throw for 3,500 yards and 25 touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons. Think about that company. That is Hall of Fame trajectory stuff. The national narrative will be, oh, he beat a backup quarterback. But let's look at who Bo was playing with. We didn't have Brandon Jones at safety. We didn't have Dre Greenlaw at linebacker. Ben Powers was on a pitch count at left guard. We were missing our starting center. We didn't have Pat Bryant. We didn't have J.K. Dobbins. Bo Nix was operating with a patchwork offensive line and backup weapons, and he still delivered. His progression in the pocket is what separates him. Last year, or even early this year, he might have bailed from the pocket too early. But in this game, we saw him stand tall. We saw him manipulate the pocket. The touchdown pass to R.J. Harvey was a thing of beauty. It was a tight window, threaded perfectly between defenders, showing anticipation and trust. That is not game manager stuff. That is elite quarterback play. This leads me to a question of the day for you guys, and I want you to be honest in the comments. When will the national media finally admit they were wrong about Bo Nix? Do we have to win the Super Bowl before they stop calling him a system quarterback, or will they just move the goalposts again? Let me know what you think below. Speaking of that touchdown, we need to put some respect on R.J. Harvey's name. Why is this kid not in the Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation? He leads all rookies with 12 touchdowns this season. He has been the engine of our red zone offense. He is doing things that first-round picks aren't doing. Against the Chiefs, he was the difference maker. He ran hard, he caught the ball out of the backfield, and he scored the game-sealing touchdown. The ceiling for this offense is wildly high because we have young, hungry playmakers like Harvey who are stepping up when guys like Dobbins go down. We have depth. We have talent. And we have a system that maximizes all of it. Here is the stat that should terrify the rest of the NFL. The Denver Broncos are 11-2 in one-score games this season. People call that luck. I call it having a quarterback with the clutch gene. I call it having a head coach in Sean Payton who knows how to close out games. Compare our situation to the Detroit Lions. They were a Super Bowl favorite. Now, they are struggling because Jared Goff can't get it done when things go off script. They are paying him $70 million next year to lose to backup quarterbacks. We have Bo Nix on a rookie contract. We have cap space opening up as we finally get Russell Wilson's dead money off the books. This is just the beginning of the window. This is Sean Payton's third full season, and his vision is fully realized. And look at the immediate future. We have 10 days to rest. We get to heal up. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Chargers have to play a brutal, physical game against the Houston Texans on Saturday night. If the Chargers lose that game, bang! The Denver Broncos are your AFC West champions before we even step on the field again. If they win, we get to host a beat-up Chargers team in Denver, with our defense rested and ready to pin their ears back. We are going to win the AFC West. We are going to secure the #1 seed. And we are going to have a very boring wild card weekend, and I mean that in the best way possible. We get to sit on our couches, eat popcorn, and watch the rest of the AFC beat each other up while we wait for the divisional round in Mile High. Broncos country, enjoy this feeling. We didn't just win a game. We ended an era of oppression by the Kansas City Chiefs. We proved that no amount of bad officiating can stop this train. It is a very happy McNixmas, indeed. We have a ton to believe in. And the ball don't lie.